Welcome to the Tanz im August podcast. This podcast series is part of the Tanz im August Festival, presented by HAU Hebbel am Ufer. This year, it takes place from 15th to the 31st of August in 9 locations in Berlin. Several artists from this year's program have been invited to participate in a conversation. Each episode seeks to offer insights into their creative process, uncovering what's behind the decisions they made and the knowledge they gained along the way. The artists tell listeners about their current and past projects, revealing detailed information about the work that will be presented during Tanz im August. In this episode, Alina Lauer, dramaturg and producer of the festival, talks with Amala Dianor. He will present his new work DAP on 23rd and 24th of August at Haus der Berliner Festspiele.
Hello, Amala. How are you?
I'm very good, Alina. So I'm so happy to have this conversation with you.
It's really nice to talk to you today. Would you like to introduce yourself to our listeners first and maybe say something about your work and your path in dance, your experiences?
So my name is Amala Dianor. I live in France. I used to be like a hip-hop dancer. Actually here in France, we used to say street dancers. Because hip-hop, as you know, is a movement, includes a lot of discipline. Me, I used to be a street dancer in the early 80s. And then I went to a contemporary school called CNDC, le Centre National de la Danse Contemporaine. It's an international school based here in Angers. It was in 2000. I was the first street dancer student who was invited to be in the school. So I spent 2 years here. And after I tried to mix what I was as a hip-hop dancer and what I learned at the school and that contemporary school. It was very interesting because I was trying to stay authentical as a dancer, as a hip-hop dancer, but at the same way, trying to push the borders of what is dancing from my side. And after that, I created my company in 2012, and I started to create works trying to more learn what is choreographing mean. It was, for me, a long journey, try to understand all the clue that choreographing mean about the dancers, about the purpose of why going on stage, why this proposition, working on lights, working with musicians, working with also all the aspects, how to find money, how to find some partners. And it was another aspect of my career, and I'm still on that. Now, what I like is I'm old enough to not dance anymore and to direct some dancers.
Thank you, Amala, for this little introduction. And I think we already touched upon a few topics that I really would like to deepen with you. And one thing you said is that there is a friction between maybe the field of hip-hop or street dance and the contemporary dance. So when you try to bring the two of them together, you try to implement the formalities, the shapes of hip-hop into a contemporary dance setting, right?
Yes, because back in the day, it was in the 2000s, beginning of the century, there was a lot of hip-hop dancers, hip-hop proposition, which was invited on stage by the contemporary scene. But what I was seeing is about the movement. There was contemporary movement on the side, and on the other side, there was hip-hop movement. But there was no fusion in between the movement. And I was very interested by trying to create a fusion about hip-hop and dance and contemporary dance. And that was also one of my goals after I get out of the school. It's try to create like a new way of moving and performing and dancing, which is like, this is something that you know, but you don't recognize it because it takes from both sides, from hip-hop and contemporary.
And how do you see your role as a choreographer then? I can believe that coming from hip hop, which is also a culture I grew up with, there is so many different paradigms when it comes to quotation, when it comes to echoing things, when it comes to arranging things. I think it might be a different concept sometimes from the concept that we know from the contemporary dance field. So maybe you can describe a bit how you work.
It depends about the project and what you want to speak about or what you want to show on stage. For my side, when I was a hip hop dancer, it was having a lot of pleasure to dance, having fun, enjoy dancing with my friends. And it was also very demonstrative and very physical. And one of the base of the street dance, it's you have to be really in phase with the music. You have to react to each cue of the music. You have to be very, here in France we say musical, but I don't know what is the English word for that. But yeah, you really to dance on the music. The music makes your dance actually. But in contemporary, you are free to do whatever you want. You can dance in silence. The music can be here, but if you want, you can tell a story and the music say another story. So it's more like a conversation. And what I found really interesting, it's working with contemporary, with hip-hop materials, it opens so many doors. And at the same time, it's like some bridge that you build. It's another way of speaking and maybe showing another way of how we can create bridge into several and different worlds. So for me, I've been creating my company more than 10 years ago. So now I'm not there anymore because now we are living in a time which everything is mixed, and the new generation, they have access to everything. They are born in it. So everything is mixed. At my time, I had to fight with my holders to let them understand that it's a good thing that for me, going out from the hip hop for a few time and to be curious about what is going on to the other side. Because at that time, I remember if you go to contemporary school or do work with the contemporary, you're gonna kill yourself. You're gonna, as a dancer, I mean, you are going to be naked on stage. You are going to do stupid stuff. The music is not good. It was so many misinformation because there was no culture about it. There was no interest about it. So if you make the step, then you understand there's the whole world here. And it's so interesting that everything you can pick up and to grow as an artist. So for now, this is over. Now everything is mixed. I work with dancers. They sue, they sing, they create music, they're breaking, and after they do grand jeté. So
interesting. Yeah, I also saw that you, for the new piece Up, that you also are going to bring to Berlin. We're very much looking forward to see it live here. For that piece, you also worked with 11 Generation Z dancers, right?
Yes.
So very young dancers, but very versatile and professional dancers coming from all kinds of different backgrounds. And they were really, as you say, some very interesting mix. I think there's one person fusing traditional folkloric dance with voguing and whacking or something, right?
Yeah. This is exactly one of the dubbies performance that I created, which was really interesting at this time of my journey as a choreographer. Because as I told you, when I started to create as a choreographer, I needed to learn everything about how to be a good choreographer, not being a good choreographer, how to create a good performance, which take time because I come from the street and then I went to school to learn how to dance, but learn to choreographing and to create a piece. There's no school for me that I do for that. There's a school, but I didn't do one of them. So I have to learn by myself. So I create different projects, but I realized that I went far from who I am as a street dancer. So I was curious to go back on the street in a kind of way to say, and to check up and to see what is going on now. How the new generation, they transform it, how they put it in our lifestyle. And what is it that they want to say? What is the legacy that they get from us, from the hip hop, and how they transform it? So I went all around the world because I was very curious to see what is going on everywhere. I went to South Africa, I went to India, I went to USA, UK, Spain, and there's also to Korea. I travel a lot just to meet the street dancers and to see what is going on now.
And did you also recruit the dancers on this world tour, let's say?
Yeah, I did. But to be honest, first I went to South Africa. I was invited to create a project with the Vea Katleong Dance Company, which is a Peninsula dance company from the hood from Katleong, which is a hood close to Johannesburg. And it reconnected me to what I lost. My soul of just enjoying dancing with people, with friends, going to the party, completely drunk, have fun, talk with a lot of different people, and also dancing, the pleasure of dancing and the high technicity and the physicality of the dance. I've lost it and I reconnect to that. And I was curious because in South Africa, they create their own hip hop to me. It's called Peninsula. On style of how to wear their clothes, how to speak, how to dance. It's a lifestyle like the hip hop. And it's from Africa. It's their own. Here in France, we have the hip hop, but it's from USA. It's not house. So I was wondering, is there in another way, in another country, like this exists? So I went to Brazil and I meet with dancers and there's Passinho in Brazil. It's also a mix with samba and street dance and capoeira. It's very interesting. And I went to India and I discovered India is another country. People over there, they dance, they sing, but the art is everywhere. And people are also so clever in the way that how they put the thing. And I meet this dancer. He's doing traditional dance, katak, mixed with house and walking. And it's another way to see I'm authentic. I know where I come from. This is my tradition, but I'm connected to the world, to my world now in 2024. Yeah, dub is about this new generation, how they create their own world. And it's quite interesting because now I feel that I'm very old.
Yeah, I just thought when you said your authentic culture is now mixed up in new forms all around the world. And it's true. I was just wondering, if we're young, we think what we live is an authentic culture because we don't know the history maybe so well, like that there are also other roots that came together, people mixed things up. I mean, also with the hip hop culture, right? In New York, it was mainly created by Black, but also Latinx youth. So also here already a huge mix up of different styles and forms. And maybe this is also a connection to the title of the piece, right? Like dub, the title comes from the mixing technique or the musical paradigm from Jamaica.
Yeah. Exactly, because I wanted also to come back to the roots in a certain way of speaking. For me, dub is more like a process, how we can, starting from an original song, make it something completely different, something like it became another song, but you recognize it, but it's something completely different, can go farther and lower and put space in it. And for me, it's related to how the new generation, they expand and also of my way of working. I work with the material of the dancers and after I try to put it somewhere different and try to mix it and I work on it and then it becomes something different. And I think that's what makes proposition interesting, that you can see something, you recognize it, but it transforms. It becomes something different and you can see the evolution. And I think this is why I called this performance dub. And another story is just like my first real underground party was the dub one. My uncle took me in a forest in Switzerland and I was 14 years old, something like that. I didn't know what's going on there. It was crazy. A wall of speakers, people free to dance, eat, speak, and music was there. It was for me like, wow, what is that? Also to be inspired by dub, I wanted to see what is the new underground scene. Because now what I see is all the dancers, they are very professional in the way that they know that they are good dancers and they want to make money with that. And now with all the tools that we have, it's easy to be famous or to be on a commercial and to earn money. But I'm not interested on that. I was really interested by the fact that how you enjoy dancing, just the pleasure of sharing your dance without showing that, look how good I am, look, I am the best, I'm showing you this, I'm showing you that, and maybe you can offer me a job. And no, I wasn't interested on that. I just wanted to be in a place that people, they don't care. They just want to have fun and come as they are. And that's, for me, the most important thing.
That's beautiful. And in dub, they all come differently, but then still a collective emerges somehow. And there's also one musician that you bring in the piece, Xavier Léon.
Yes.
It's not the first time the two of you are working together.
No.
Right? There's a long history.
Yes, it is.
Why him also for this piece? And what does he interact with the dancers, with the stage, or what's the connection?
He's a very good fan of mine because he used to be a dancer. We used to perform together back in the day, and he decided to quit the dance industry and to become a composer. And he's a singer and everything. And we keep in touch because I said, yeah, if you don't want to dance anymore, please make my music for my performances. And we've been working together since I created my company. And for this show, we traveled together. We went to Korea. We went also to UK, and he didn't come with me in USA because he was busy somewhere else. But the thing is, like, we used to share a lot for this because I wanted him to be on stage, because what I realized, the most important thing for this community is the sound and the DJ. The DJ have their own community of dancers who follow them, and the dance exists because the DJ, they put new track, create new beats, and the challenge is how I can have a conversation with my DJ and what they put. For me, the DJ or the composer is in the center of everything. So I wanted him to be on stage and to interact with the dancer. It was very difficult for him because in this dub show, I have some pansora dancers, I have some walking dancers, electro dancers, hip hop, crump, dancehall, coupé décalé, and they have all different BPM. And it's like the beat is very different for all of them, and they had to find a way to make them move all together that doesn't change the way of dancing, So it was quite a challenge, but I knew him very well, and I know that is the guy for the job,
Yeah, I think he did a very good job, because I think, like, seeing the piece, you never think, oh my God, this is the wrong pace of music for this and that. It just looks like a good fit for everybody.
Yeah.
That is really interesting when you think about it. I mean, for our listeners, maybe if they don't know that, for example, Pantsula is a very fast footwork based dance form, and hip hop sometimes can have 30 BPM less or even more. So it's beats per minute that really are divergent in these cases. And what you also have on stage is these massive boxes. Massive boxes in different shapes and styles in interior. Maybe you want to share with us what the idea behind these boxes is.
Yes, of course. First, you need to understand dub is a special project for me, because since I've created my company, I wanted to create like a big form. I used to do small performances with 1 to 5 dancers, but it's the first time that I create one with so many dancers. So I wanted to do like a big show, So 11 dancers worldwide with a musician, a composer on stage performing live. Because I was creating the music at the same time that the dancers are performing. And also I wanted like a big scenography. and I create a big one.
It's huge.
I work with Grégoire Korganov. It's a very good friend of mine. He's a visual artist. He's making video and photo. And again, with him, we went to USA and also to Korea. And we wanted to be inspired about all the space that we've been and the underground scene, looking for, area that is, if you don't know this exists and people meet there, you will have no idea. So I wanted to create the same situation on stage that we've been during our journey to meet the dancers. And I wanted for the audience to share this experience from the underground scene. What is going on out there? What is the thing that we don't see? And look what is going on in this area. Look what's going on up there. It's crazy. Most of the time, I have the feeling that now we are living in a community where people are afraid. I don't want to talk to you because you are from another country. You are different from me. I'm scared about you. But if you look deeper, you will see that actually the thing that you fear, there's no danger out there. It's only love. And this is the thing that I wanted to share. So the boxes that I create, they are all different. In all boxes, there's some live situation and dance, of course, but it's more how they can express themselves on that boxing differently that they can in the real stage.
So the boxes are the locations of the dance cultures that you found. And does every dancer have their own box, so to say?
Yeah, sometimes they share, sometimes they, they have their own boxes. But so it's also this. Me as a choreographer now, I want it on dub to be like something really authentical. The thing is, if I want to show the underground scene and I put it on stage, it's not underground anymore. So I had to be honest with me and also with the dancers. So I just tell them it's a meeting, guys. You want to work with me? We're going to work together. So you will do a step to my side, but I will do a step to your side. So there's a part which I create choreography for them. It's like a conventional choreography. And after, it's their time to take the power and bring me to their situation, to their universe. And the boxes are made for that.
That's really interesting. And they also move. The scenography moves then. And what we see then is a sort of catwalk also.
Yeah. There is a catwalk because this is related to what I was saying earlier about the fact that they are not project, but they can't be proposed themselves as a product with all the respect that I have in the fact that they are now, all the commercial that you see, you can see some dancers. There's dancers everywhere and they know that. And this with Instagram, now they have to post every day, everything they do, because maybe they are going to earn money or be famous. And I wanted also to show that because this is their reality actually. And the catwalk is for them to go back and forth and to demonstrate who they are. But I wanted to put it at the end because this is, after all, how we see them and how they want us to see them. But the purpose of dub is everything which is behind. And that's what I wanted to show more than this catwalk, which also is their reality. How the catwalk is like, look at me. Look how I dress. Look how I dance. I have the best style. Not today. Today is me. Yeah. So this is also kind of the reality of this society.
Yeah, it's true. And as you said before, actually most dance forms have their roots in specific spaces and specific cultures. But if you think about Instagram or TikTok, often dance happens without that frame, right? Without the people around, without the culture around. It's a frontal situation. And a lot of urban dance forms in tradition are circular. They're not meant to be in a frontal consumerist situation of an audience confronted with a product. So do you think that, let's say it's a bit pessimistic, my question, but do you think that the dance cultures will suffer from the digital devices and the digital field?
I think no. I think this is another way to progress. I don't know how to say it. No, it's natural way of things, how they move. So the spaces for dance are infinite. So if it's happened there, that's fine. But I'm sure there's still this underground culture will be always there. And also because it exists, there will be a space in between. So I think, no, I think it's the logical way of things to move on, but it won't be something that will break it or.
We can have trust in dance, so to say.
Yeah. I want to believe that.
Yeah, me too. Do you apart from the dub as a topic, see another story emerging in the piece, or is there a story you try to tell?
This is more about my global work. How, with our differences, we can be together, talk together, work together. Because in the first part, they're 11 performing at the same time with their own style. And it's a unison. So it's how we can be together and with all the differences, because they don't speak the same language. They come from different country and they dance really not the same. So how with all this, if we put all this together, how we can, it makes sense finally. So it's for me like, okay, let's see how what is the world that we are living in without the fear. And for me, it's very important because I don't know on your side, but here in France, we can see all the extreme growing and people are more and more scared about the stranger, about what is different to them. But in each side, actually, what I want to show, it's like, okay, guys, it's all right. We can be different, but we can work together. We can be together and we can complement each other.
Yeah. I think also in Germany, we feel that a lot, that we are coming back to the boxes maybe, and what we have to do with boxes and what we shouldn't do with boxes, because I also feel the boxes are getting more and more firm and non-permeable, so to say. And yeah, compared with what you do with the boxes on stage, where people can enter, go out, go to a different box and say hi there and take something with them, it's a completely different approach. So this is maybe also why I like the imaginary of your scenography very well. It's very clear, let's say. And yeah, this bodies and dialogue, do you have the feeling that you see yourself more and more as more in a director's role and not so much in the role of a choreographer, meaning the material, the movement material, as you say, comes a lot from the dancers themselves because it already is so strong. And what you do more is then to really arrange it into choreographic patterns.
Yeah, this is what I do because now they have skills that I can't not do it at all. And actually, what I like is to use these materials and try to link it to another style. This happened a lot in dub. I can see, like, for example, electro dancers work a lot with the arms and also with walking. There's a lot of harm. I can see some connection. I also see some connection with the coupé décalé, which is from Ivory Coast in Africa. Strong footwork, patching with Pansula. There's crump energy. I can relate it also to the hip hop and with the walking also. It's really like this movement. Oh, I see it like in this style. So I can cook. I like to do that. And it creates some connection. The dancers, they didn't think before. So now what they do, it's every day someone give a class and they take notes and they see how after they can mix what they learn with their own style. So they create like a new way of changing the movement.
I would be curious, what are the styles that were the hardest to combine? Because there is some that really seem to have the exact opposite movement. Like one is upbeat, one is downbeat, or...
The electro dancers, they have a very fast BPM. And there's also dancehall in the piece, and it's very low, slow. It's impossible to combine. It's not possible. And also there's breaking. I have one B-boy. This one is quality, is more about power move, mixed with footwork. And, there's, to get it probably with crump, it's not easy to combine because one is with the arm and the other one is on the floor. So the challenge is to, you are so different. So how can we make you talk together? But I think it's the kind of challenge that I like.
Thank you. Would you like to also dive into your hopes or your future ideas? What comes afterwards? Because dub seems so monumental and so fundamental for your work. What can come afterwards?
I realized that making big projects, it's exhausting because you have to deal with so many things. It makes you grow as a man and as a creator because you have to deal with so many different things, but it's exhausted. Now I'm going to work on small performances, and I have another challenge because I have to create a performance for the kids, but very little kids from 1 year to 4 years, before they get into school. And we are not used to do that, actually. We are not used to create performance, to speak and to talk to these kids. So I have to find another way to organize my choreography or to think how I'm going to make them stay for 30 minutes captive, interesting on what I'm going to show them. So it's another challenge.
There's an element of chaos for sure. Like it randomizes the choreography, let's say.
So yeah, that's my next challenge. The premiere will be in November. I start this month.
Beautiful. And this I have to add still, you are not the first time at Tanz im August. Maybe for the ones who don't know that, but we already had you once in 2022. To give a bigger frame, Tanz im August is still the leading partner of the European dance network, Big Pulse Dance Alliance, and you were one of the selected artists for the upscaling program, meaning to elevate choreographers that are established but still need a little push to go to the big stages. And this program was created to do that. And you then had a piece called Sigufin.
Yes.
And it means magical monster, right? In Bambara language.
Exact.
And you brought also then a big group with you. But for me, it would be still interesting to hear what the differences were for you, because there you had 3 choreographers that you collaborated with.
Yeah.
And also dances from Africa. 9, I think it was 9 dances. Was the process a bit similar in the way of how dub was created, or is it entirely different?
Yeah, it's entirely different. For Sigufin, it was like for me to go back to Africa and to share what I've learned as a dancer and choreographer with my partner over there. Because the thing is, like in Africa, there's a lot of dancer and people who work hard on their territory to make things happen. But we have most of the time the situation that we think African people, they want to go out of their country, come to Europe, make money, whatever. But the thing is, there's so many artists that working hard to make things happen. And I wanted to share that. So I went to Senegal, Mali and Burkina, meet 3 choreographers. So in Senegal is Alioune Diagne. In Mali, it's Naomi Fall. In Burkina Faso, it's Ladji Kone. And the 3 of them are very involved in their country to create some festival, to create some structure that the dancers, they can learn, meet, dance and perform. And I wanted to share with them how we can still push dancers to make them learn and understand what is the process of a creation, and after touring. So I was so happy to be part of the Big Pulse Dance Alliance because they support us for touring the show, and the dancers have great connection with other artists in the country. But the thing is, all the money that they've earned, they invested in their country. Some of them create some gardens in their neighborhood. Some other create the company. Now they're giving workshop and they start to be international dancers. Some other have met some choreographer in another country. Now they work with them. So all of them, they stay in the country. All the money they get, they still put it in their area. So that was very interesting. And the process of working also was very interesting because I let the choreographer work with the dancers. And after with their materials, I used their materials to create the full show. It was very interesting and very unusual, like a process of doing. But we understood that this project, it wasn't for us, but for the dancers. And also with the Big Pulse Dance and their support, they give me also the strength to do dub. And I'm so happy to show dub in Tanz in August. You have no idea.
Yeah, we are very much looking forward to have you, really. And yeah, the tickets are already on sale. So
great.
And we hope it's going well. Yeah, Amala, thank you so much for chatting with me. Is there anything?
That was a pleasure.
Yeah, same here. Is there anything you would still like to add to the conversation?
Yeah, we need to still go to the theater. We need to be curious about the others, and we need to break the borders and the frontier. We need to meet the others, meet the one you fear.
Thank you. I totally agree. Thank you so much. And
thank you, Alina.
I hope we see each other soon.
Yes. See you very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.